I'm back working on the lathe bench just a little bit here. Something that a commenter brought up. I might be able to go back and find it again. I don't know for sure, but anyway, it had to do with rods and, you know, some gears or whatever to make these adjustable from the top of the bench. And that got me to thinking, and so I think the execution is going to be a little bit different, but I think the end result will be the same. So this is one of the feet out from under the bench. You can see I got black paint on it there. That's the lock nut. Okay, so this is the same nut that's welded on under the bench. Okay, so what I did was I took that off for sizing, and what I was kind of hoping was I could just take this really long, it's a 30-inch extension that reaches all the way down. Whoops, I was kind of hoping it would fit through. And then I thought, well, heck, I'll just buy a couple of these and, you know, weld them onto the end here. And then I thought, man, that's going to be really hard to get those to turn, you know, to be true. So basically what I've come up with is I checked a couple other, where'd the nut go? There. And some got kind of close, and I could grind the finish off that, and that would help and stuff. But I went to Harbor Freight and picked up 4 of these. And the little one here, I wanted the 3/8 drive socket. Well, it turns out that this one's small enough to fit right through there. So the plan at this point, and things change as they progress, but I want to cut some of this off, partly to make it easier to mount to, but also partly to get rid of the zinc, the galvanized coating on it there. I think I'm going to go ahead and, I haven't decided if I'm going to drill a hole in. I may do that. Oh yeah, you know, that would work good. I was thinking I could either just grind this off flat or drill a hole. I'll have to see which way I go with that. Once this is turned a little bit, and I'm going to turn it in the lathe. If I'm going to turn it in the lathe, I might as well put the hole in it there too. Yeah, we'll see how that works. And then basically what I'm going to do is I need to grind off the chrome, and then I'll TIG weld these together. And so then this will have that, and I can put the lock nut back on. I can go back up through the bottom, and the hope is that then I should be able to reach a long extension down and plug right into the top. Okay, there's a little bit more involved in that, but that's the gist of it. And then I can adjust it from the top of the bench. So let's see what we can do. All right, that's 1/4 inch between the flats, so it's not going to fit in a 1/4 inch hole. So 21/64. That'll give me a nice close fit there. I only have to drill it in, you know, 3/8 of an inch. Yeah, not the greatest camera angle, but you know, one of these days I'll make myself a mount for right over the lathe. Now if I open it up far enough to get the head through there, whoops, let's go the other way. The bolt's long enough that I can put it in and get the head on the back side of the jaws there. Nice, huh? And then it'll spin pretty darn true and everything, so we should be able to clean it up. It's not critical how much we take off or anything like that, so that's a little slow. Let's go there. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. I like that. So that ought to sit in there quite nicely. So I thought, you know, the grinder would probably be the better way to try to get that chrome off. I'm not too worried about taking a great deal of it off or anything, but where I'm going to weld it, I would like to have it off there. So that's just a 3/8 adapter that you find for, you know, it's got the hex shaft on it that you find for nut drive, you know, for battery parts, screwdrivers, and all that kind of stuff. So. While I was at it, I went ahead and shaved the stamping off the top there. Oops. Let's put it in this way. Just so that, just because. That way it's not in the way if I have to clamp or anything like that. So, alright. Let's face the end off again. I'll probably be in the way quite a bit, but in order to get rid of that burr there, I'm just simply filing it, because that gets pushed together a bit there, makes it hard to get the nut on. It'll go on because it's such a nice coarse thread, but let's see if we can smooth it out a bit. Well, there's still a little bit hanging over there. Oh, that looks a little nicer, huh? Okay. Alright, now I didn't use any oil when doing the drilling because I was too tempted to clean it off with brake cleaner, and you absolutely do not want to use brake cleaner if you're going to be doing any welding with argon gas. So so I get the hole, made sure the hole's drilled deep enough, then I use the countersink there, just to put a little bevel there just to help that set in even a little bit more. So you push that in hard, it's like, man, there's no wiggle, and this should just go right on. So that's a good thing about having the bevel too. I shouldn't have to grind a whole lot of weld off. If I was a good welder, that's probably the case. We'll see what the reality is when I do it. One of the nice things about having a vise with a fairly deep, fairly big opening, you know, that's probably one of the handiest, most used tools in the shop. I've seen questions where guys say favorite tool in the shop and that stuff. You know, and then they said, well, maybe not favorite because they love all of them, but most used, this is definitely one of the most used tools in the shop. Consistently. Welding, grinding, holding, man, it gets used all the time. Anyway, so now to clamp on the, fire up the TIG, and I could probably get away with just doing a couple of good heavy spot welds. Alright, disclaimer, I've been told that it's not a good idea to weld with nitrile gloves on. I haven't been given a reason why yet, so this is a do-it-at-your-own risk kind of thing. I've done it for years. Doesn't necessarily mean it's right or safe. You really should keep the weld in the argon shielded by the argon. I'm running low on argon. I've got the post flow turned down a bit. And, you know, I really don't care about how pretty these are, and I'm not too worried about the strength. They should be plenty strong enough. So that ought to do the trick. It's pretty hot, but, you know, the nut should go right over it. Nice. Okay, one down. I'm sure if Jesus number 2 is watching this, one of my Ratson buddies, he's just laughing his ass off. He's more than welcome to come up here and teach me how to TIG weld. Oop, I have to grind something there. So the hole in the bottom here, ouch, is set to be fairly close to the center there. And if you haven't quite gotten the gist of it, on the back side here, I'm going to put a hole in the top. Okay, that foot's going to come up here with the 3/8 socket end sitting up at the top. I'm going to drop that 30-inch long extension down in there, plug into that, and then I can crank that foot from the top here. Okay, on the front I've got a slightly different idea because I have more room. This is probably going to be up against a wall, you know, with the computer sitting here, but I could stick the 30-inch down in there. I could stick another 12-inch on top of that if I had to reach it even more. So let's see if we can get somewhat close to the center here. That's 3 3/8. Well, we could do this. That's 1 inch and add 1 inch. So that would make it 2. That's 1 3/8, add 1 inch. That would make it 2 3/8. Okay, that looks good from that angle. And that looks good from that angle. Okay, close enough. Put it back up in there, let it down off the jack. So it's all wobbly now because it's definitely sitting on top of that. So let's it's not the kind of thing where you got to do this every day, so how about that? Okay, so I'd be able to, I wouldn't have to pull the drawers out and climb under there to lift that leg up just to be able to roll it away from the wall. You know, and that's enough to keep it from rolling. Ooh, I like that. Hopefully I can stay out of the way here a little bit. Starts wandering when you start pushing on it different. want it to be able to reach from all the way down to up. So that's why I backed it back out there. So I could only run it in a few threads there. So let's see if we can get on it. Oh yeah, look at that, right on it. So I should probably open the bottom here a little bit. Well, there you go. Down in the slot there. That's where the top of the bolt is. The part I welded on. So let's see how it works taking the weight off. So right now it's movable. Okay. And that's how easy it is to get it in there. So let's run it down. It just touched. Give it a couple of cranks there. It's down. No weight on the caster. I did do a little more relief grinding on it to help smooth it out, but you know, I'm just not going to be adjusting this all the time. Put it in place and call it good. So, you know, I don't think I need those lock nuts either, because with the rubber feet, obviously the table's not going to spin around the leg, and the rubber foot's going to keep the leg from spinning. So they're really not needed, but I'm not going to jack it up and take them back off because I don't need the extra travel. So they don't hurt anything. They're just sitting there. But like on the back, I can't use them on the back anyway, because otherwise I'd have to crawl through to unlock them. Don't bother with the lock nuts. I thought I'd point this out if it wasn't obvious in the rest of the video. The reason I did go with the slot on the front side here, I had talked about just going through the chip tray and putting a rubber plug in, but you can see where the leg comes up. I'd have to do it here. If it was out here, no problem. But here, I can't get any kind of extension down in there, you know, whether I could plug the hole or not. So that's why I went through the front. On the other side, I just did it the same way I did the other ones. I just put a hole right down through the top, because you know there might be a mouse pad sitting here or something like that, and that hole's not going to bother anything. So I'm tickled pink with that. I could always slot the front if I wanted, but I like how it works when it goes straight down through the hole. It's perfect. Okay, check this out. I was just jacking it down, and I can actually just stick this extension in there with no wobbly. It won't go down the hole, but it certainly engages enough to do what I need it to do. I don't even need the wobbly. Now I want to see, let's see here if on the back side here, you know, I can walk around to the back side there and do it no problem. But if I'm trying to reach it from here, let's see. You know, if it's up against the wall on the right and the back. Wow. No complaints with that.